Welcome back to Squelch, the video game book club. I'm Dano.
I'm Man-at-Arms.
And I'm Electric Sheep City. And we are here to remind you that Dragon Age Awakening is a game. And games, well, they're supposed to be fun.
I'm pretty
Origins
sure
Awakening.
that says Dragon Age Origins, Sheep.
Yeah.
It definitely doesn't say Dragon Age Awakening there.
It does now.
I definitely didn't change
Say
it
Origins.
while you were talking. That didn't happen. We are definitely talking about the last two Dragon Age Origins DLC and not Dragon Age Awakening. I definitely didn't mess that up. That one was on you.
I'm Electric Sheep City?
We're here to talk about the last two DLC of Dragon Age Origins. Those DLCs are the Golems of Amgarak and Witch Hunt. They are fine. They are fine. They are fine. I've played worse video games. I mean, I'm not saying that maybe they were part of the problem that we had in, the early aughts of late aughts, I guess. Late aughts of just like filler DLC that put a bad name on all DLC. I'm not saying that. But if you wanted to say that, I wouldn't stop you.
I would like to say that.
Yes. The good news is next week we are starting Dragon Age 2. So, huzzah. Very, 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 very excited about that.
Question.
Yes.
So, initially when these DLCs came out, they were like $5 to $10, right? Each?
I have absolutely no idea. I didn't ever play them originally, so
gotcha.
I'm
trying to find sourcing on pricing, but $5 to $10 for these seems like, because that's what I'm seeing is like $5 to $10 depending on the DLC. I'm not sure I would ever play like seeing what I've seen. I'm like, I probably would not have been happy buying that.
If you love Dragon Age Origins and you were spending time till Dragon Age 2 and they like threw a DLC at you for $5, especially
yeah.
And we'll talk about this later in the episode, but they gave you like gear that you could then use with like future like new rerolls of characters. So like you got stuff out of it that you can use in other campaigns. So, I don't.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah, I don't think it was. I mean, compared to today, like the way that like games are aggressively monetized, I feel like actually giving you something to play for a $5 or a $10 really isn't too bad.
Yeah, $5 for like 20 minutes of story content or 20 to 30 minutes of story content into like or maybe an hour or so of story content versus like a skin seems really good, actually, now that I think about it.
And I think the Golems of Amgarak was actually really well received because it was really difficult. So it like gave something for people who were looking for a really difficult experience. It gave that to them. Now for me, it was like, well, this is miserable and I'm not really looking for a crazy difficult experience right now. So it was definitely a different experience than, let's say, if I had, put a bunch of time in and it was playing Nightmare difficulty, So I think my experience in 2025 is probably different than the experience in 2011, maybe 2010. I'm not sure when this released.
Oh, yeah.
But probably around there would be my guess. So, but yeah, I don't know. Anyways, but we are getting through Dragon Age 2 next week. We're starting. I'm very, very excited. We're going to use a walkthrough again, just so that we're all kind of on the same page of what quests we are playing. This game, Dragon Age 2, is a little bit more, I'm not going to say on the rails, but a little bit more linear. It does have an Act 1, an Act 2, and an Act 3. Much less of an open world than Dragon Age Origins. But we will get into all of that while we're playing it. But we are going to be using a walkthrough. That walkthrough is linked in the episode details, so you have that as well, so you can kind of follow along and play along with us. So next week, July 15th, when this episode will drop, we're going to play through the prologue, obviously. Then through the quests, A Friend in the Guard, The Way It Should Be, Birthright, Portrait of the Past, The Bone Pit, Get Back to Work, Loose Ends, and Magistrate's Orders. So that's what we're playing next week. That is the plan. The goal is 4 to 6 hours again, and so it is be flexible. If we find that we're going over, we'll just cut back content. So, Matt, yes.
Just a heads up to anybody currently listening on before Thursday, the game is currently $7.50 on Steam.
$7.50. Is Veilguard still dirt cheap as well, like $25 or something like that?
Hold on, let me go back and find the tab. Veilguard is still. It's currently one Hades. It's $30.
One Hades for a AAA game. A game. I really cannot wait to get to Veilguard just to see if it's that bad. I want to know. Right? Like, is it that bad? I don't know. Maybe it is. I'm guessing Inquisition is like what, $10, $12, something like that right now as well.
With Inquisition?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, going back. Inquisition is $10.
And these do go on sale during every Steam sale, essentially. So, like, if you don't get like Inquisition or Veilguard this time, I can pretty much guarantee you the next one they're going to go on sale again. Don't pay full price for a Dragon Age game at this point.
Patience is a virtue.
Yeah. All right. So we are shooting 4 to 6 hours. I'm not playing ahead this time like I did with Origins to try to stay more on track with everybody else so that we have more fluid conversation as opposed to like a more scripted experience. So we may find that like what we thought was going to be 4 to 6 hours is more like 8 hours. If that does happen, we're just going to scale it back for what our playtime is going to be that week, and then we'll just kind of like modify from there. So just kind of you all have an idea of how we're approaching Dragon Age 2 as opposed to how we did Dragon Age Origins. Any questions about that, you guys? That kind of making sense?
I'm looking forward to getting started, honestly.
I am as well. I am super excited about this one. I'm also excited about thanking some patrons.
Thanks. I am pretty incredible.
Thank.
So much better than Storm Rage. Wow. And you can tell him I
don't know that
said
I'd go that far.
So a big thank you to our patrons and Twitch subs. Your support keeps this podcast ticking. You can support the show over at twitch.tv/DanoPlay or patreon.com/Squelch. At any level of support, you do get our Squelch After Dork. That is our podcast after the podcast, and our $5 and above patrons get the podcast tonight is recorded. So tonight that's going to be a Monday. Next week it'll probably be a Sunday. But yeah, so that's how that works. We appreciate everybody. This week in After Dork, we are going to talk about an expensive dinosaur. Is that right, Sheep? We're talking about expensive dinosaurs?
The most expensive of dinosaurs.
The most expensive of dinosaurs. And dinosaurs are very expensive on the open market. So
notoriously.
Are you starting your own Jurassic Park over there?
I mean, it might as well.
Maybe.
All right, let's get into the lore.
This one's a real page turner.
All right, we are talking about 2 different DLC this week. Each of them are about 2 hours long, an hour and a half to 3 hours, depending on how you played them each. The first one was Golems of Amgarak. And our cast of characters this week are Jarek Dace. He is a dwarf who writes a letter to the warden like he knows us. But he doesn't. And not like even a little bit. But it's like very much like, my dearest warden, I write to you in time of my greatest need. And I'm like, bro, like, who even are you? Like, I think I talked to your dad once maybe in like Orzammar, but like, I don't know you. And I don't know why I'm doing what you want me to do. It seems a little insane.
proving that parasocial relationships are not a new thing, though, right?
I mean, especially in high fantasy settings, right?
Parasocial high fantasy. There's got to be a show title in there somewhere, right? Then we got Brogan Dace. Brogan Dace. His name is Brogan, and he is the brother of Jarek. All right,
Sure.
there we go.
Yeah.
If they just called him bro, it'd be too obvious. So they added a gan to the end, just to throw you off the scent.
His primary personality trait is a little crazy. I think is his primary trait. He was trapped in Amgarak and is a little loony. But he is Jarek's brother, and he is the reason we are going into this place. We have to rescue him because he didn't go into there for anything but greed. So he needs to be rescued because greed needs to be rewarded. Of course. Then we have Snug. Snug is Derek's Bronto, and probably the best part of this DLC, if I'm being completely honest. We get a Bronto pet, and it has its own little Bronto pet talent tree. It's pretty fun. And then we have the Runic Golem. The Runic Golem is a Runic Golem, but kind of fancy. That's kind of it. So that is our cast of characters for the Golems of Amgarak. Next, we get the Witch Hunt. We do get a new cast of characters, but also a returning character. The returning character is Morrigan. Yes.
Morgan with a facelift.
But don't get excited because she's in it for 34 seconds. But it's a fun 34 seconds. But that's all we really get. Then we get Finn. He's a mage and wants to tag along. That's great. We get Dog. Dog is back as well. Dog is with us the entire time. Dog is wonderful. Dog is a major character in this one. Love it. Dog gets all the best lines. And then Ariane, a Dalish elf warrior who is looking for a book. So, and where do you go look for a book? A library. Is that library a major part of this DLC? Yes. Yes, it is. It's one of the primary stops. Is not just going to a library, but searching through that library. Buckle up, Freds. We are in for a wild one. But we don't want to get...
I have a spoiler for what my sell a game to a friend answer is.
Yeah.
It's books.
Books. And books are awesome. I love reading books. And so does what is his name? Finn. So does Finn. Finn loves books as well. But we're starting with the Golems of Amgarak. So like I said, Jarek Dace writes a letter to us. And it starts with him in his study, a very high fantasy setting, narrating his letter to us. My dearest warden, I write to you in my time of greatest need. My brother and his boon companions have traveled into Amgarak in search of wealth. I need you to come and help me because they're missing. But don't bring anyone else along because we don't want anyone else to know that it's here because we want all the money ourselves. And I'm like, but I could bring my friends and they could just not say anything. And then we wouldn't be in this big old giant mess that we get in. But no, it's cool.
Or I'm the warden. I hang with my bros.
Yeah,
right here. They're my crew.
Yeah,
you get me. You want me. The crew comes with. I'm sorry.
And this is
it's what always happens. What makes this dude special?
This is post Awakening Warden as well. So the crew is large. So you're telling me we couldn't get a couple of friends to come along? It's there's a lot of friends at this point. So. I don't know. I'm just saying we could have brought friends along, and they would have been better.
If we rolled in with the crew, it would have been done like that.
It wouldn't have been as awful. That's all I'm saying. But secrecy is paramount in this because the Dace clan is aware of this thing. They have found this Tig, and this is where Caradon did some... So this place where they were researching Caradon's research. Oh, yes, we're back with the Golem research because the dwarves, all they can do is obsess over the Golem research. And so we're heading back here. We learned that Branka was aware of this place, but even Branka didn't want to pursue this. So it's a little bit of crazy when like the craziest dwarf of her generation is like, nah, it's a little unhinged for me. Thank you very much.
I mean, everyone's got to draw the line somewhere.
No, that's perfectly fair. Perfectly fair. So the whole thing behind Amgarak was a combination of a Tevinter mage who are known for doing whatever it takes to gain power and learn interesting things, to be fair. And then just like some random person from Orzammar. Don't even think it's mentioned. So Tevinter mage, random person from Orzammar, they were trying to recreate Caradin's research to recreate the golems, probably for very selfish reasons, because it's dwarves. So we get in there, and what do you find? A bunch of golems to fight. So we have to fight a bunch of golems. Great. Super interesting. Very quickly, we go and we run into Jarek's brother, Brogan. But Brogan is blue, and we cannot talk to blue Brogan. It's impossible to talk to blue Brogan.
He's just saying dabba-dee, dabba-die the whole time?
Yes,
or?
but Jarek is like, nah, this is some like topsider magic, and we have to figure this out because my bro is like right here. My bro Brogan is right here, so we have to figure out why he's blue and not talking to us, and also mumbling him to himself like a crazy person.
He's fine. This is normal.
And he does very much treat it like it is normal. He's like, no biggie, no biggie.
I mean, just gotta let the adult fruit snack wear off. It's fine.
Yeah. So we like wander around and we fight a bunch of like golems. We see like this worm hand face thing, and it's attacking things, and it's very creepy. And we learn that it's a harvester and that it is not fun. So this thing is like running around, and like, so there were originally 20 dwarves. We can't find any of them except for Brogan. And we kind of assume that this worm hand face thing kind of got to it. So we follow that around, and we get to a giant, like, sphere room, essentially. Like, very much like the movie Contact. Remember the movie Contact, where they just had the big sphere? It's basically that. And this room is blue, and so we do, like, some, like, magical MacGuffin-y stuff, and all of a sudden, we're blue. And everything in the game is blue. Yes. And this is the basic premise of this DLC. Is there are certain things that you can only interact with when you are a certain color. So, like, you are basically in a...
Everything is blue for him.
It's
the premise of the song, right? Like, it goes beyond just the touchstone. Like, a blue Corvette, a blue this, a blue that. Like,
a blue
everything
Brogan,
is blue.
A blue book.
A blue Brogan, a blue Warden. Like, everything is blue.
So there are 4 colors in this dungeon, and we have to navigate the dungeon, which is a little twisty and turny, and go to the different colors, switch the color of the dungeon, then go back to do different things, like read different journals, learn different things about it. So the whole premise is kind of turning things different colors, going back, learning new things, and then advancing through, getting different rooms to open up as you change different colors. So you turn blue and then red, then green. I think there was a 4th color, but I don't remember what it was. The green color is the one where you run into this terrible like room full of golems that I couldn't beat. And I was like, I don't think I need to do this. So I skipped it. It was like, it's too hard. No, thank you.
No, I'm a pass. I don't blame you.
But we do, while we're blue, we go talk to Brogan. And Jarek is like, yeah, he a little nutty, but his sword arm is still strong, so he's coming with us. And it's like, all right, cool. He does turn out to be the only one who like has any sense left in him. He's like, we need to go. So we run around these circles, flipping colors, switches for different colors. Eventually, we get to the big bad room where the small face hand thing crawls into a big thing. And then once again, this whole mechanic of this dungeon is switching. And so and this is really fun. It announces to switch. So it's like, oh, something has happened. So now it is time to use magic attacks. You have to use magic attacks, the big bad. Oh no, magic is what we got to use physical. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention is as you're doing all this, you're gaining power-ups for this golem that you find, this runic golem. And he's like the big, like, basically does everything. He can heal in this dungeon. He can do, like, damage with, like, magic spells. So the whole point is basically running around and powering up this dungeon through this runic golem by reading more journals. So you have to navigate this whole labyrinth of colors and like hallways to level up this runic golem, because I did not have any magic with me because I was a warrior tank with Brogan, who was a warrior tank, and Jarek, who was a rogue with
and no crew.
Yeah, so it's like I would have loved some magic. So.
Right. So can I bring a mage with me? Can I bring like more? Can I bring what's her name? The Win. Can I bring Win? Can we bring Win? That'd be great.
Yeah, no. So that was basically it. I actually lowered the difficulty to easy for this one because it was so hard without a fully leveled up golem, and I was so uninterested in running around this labyrinth with trying to get all the right colors and stuff. So I was like, I bet I can just lower the difficulty and brute force my way through this end boss. And that's what I did. Like, if I like bought this DLC, like if I was Jones for some Dragon Age and I bought this DLC and wanted to spend time on it and learning the mechanics and playing out the characters, I could see how it would be a lot of fun. I wasn't in that mindset. I was just trying to like power through these last 2 DLCs. And so like the idea of trying to like navigate, oh, which one's the yellow one? Which one's the blue one? Where's the green? Did I miss a green journal somewhere? I was not having it.
But the books.
Yeah.
Dano, the books.
The books, exactly. So what the story behind this whole place was that they tried to recreate Carradin's research, and instead of recreating Carradin's research, they made these harvesters instead. And these harvesters were like out of control and like slaughtering everything. So what they did, because they couldn't kill them, was seal up the dungeon. And we like unsealed it. So we needed to kill the harvester. So we did that. We killed the harvester. We flee the dungeon, seal it back up again. And then the DLC ends with like a screenshot of like 50 of these things like swarming out of like a cave. And you're like, did I just like trigger the apocalypse? Like,
hooray!
Hey, at least the DLC will be ending then.
Yeah. And so once again, we destroy all of Carradin's research again, because that is the premise of half of this game, is destroy Carradin's research. And that was the Golems of Amgarak. It was fine.
I do want to say, did we ever find out what happened to the Orzammarian Forrest Gump?
Remind me who the Orzammarian Forrest Gump is.
The combination of the Tevinter mage and someone from Orzammar, just some random dude.
No,
that's just what I wanted to call him.
I think in the journals you do kind of get because the journals you're reading are the journals of like one of the party members that just went in.
Oh, cool.
So like you're like his like he was like some like the one who was like the brains of the operation. It's like you're reading his journals. I'm sure there were lore dumps in here about other stuff. But again, I just couldn't be, because like it's so much backtracking as well, right? Because you find the new color, and then you have to backtrack through the dungeon to go find doors that were sealed to you beforehand because you couldn't access them because of that color, or find books or like lore or codex tidbits that you couldn't access because you weren't in the proper like. Basically, like you would like phase into different like realities, but the same reality was kind of the essential premise of it.
the book was green and you were wearing blue.
And so
like,
you couldn't
get that book even though you could see it.
Exactly. So you can't interact with anything except for that color. And so it's a lot of backtracking back and forth. And if you're just not in the mindset for that, I'm sure it was really interesting to design. And it was a very interesting like design thing. But like you kind of wonder like maybe this was something that was best used for like a college project and not an actual game. No, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. It was fine.
It sounds like it'd be a kick and red mini game.
Or like mechanics that they had, like they thought like, no, this will be good in the game. And then like, we need a DLC. And like, okay, we had to cut this because it didn't quite work. So let's do it here. It
really is the perfect place for it, right? Because it is just a DLC, a low stakes DLC, very little story. Mm-hmm. It basically, if you were looking for an interesting puzzle with difficult combat, like this was like, it hit all those things. It was a giant puzzle and it had a really difficult combat. So if you were looking for that in the game, like this scratched that itch really well. So like if that which I think what they were kind of looking to design the game for at this point was they were ramping up the difficulty and they were giving a puzzle. So I mean, mission accomplished to be honest.
Right.
So then we get to Witch Hunt, which is the last DLC of Dragon Age Origins. It was the last announced game for Dragon Age Origins. It was known that this was it before Dragon Age 2. It was called Witch Hunt, and it was basically the swan song of Morrigan and the Warden, right? The two big characters, the two big personalities in Dragon Age Origins. Morrigan, obviously, because she really is kind of the big personality of the franchise, to be honest. And then the main character, the protagonist of Origins, the Warden. This is 1 year later. And if you remember at the end of Dragon Age Origins, Morrigan left. Whether or not you did the ritual for her to write her letter to the stork, she did leave and go do her own thing, one way or the other. I asked her not to write her letter to the stork, so she didn't, but she got upset about it and left before the last battle. So Matt did write the letter to the stork, so she was there personally at the end, so which is very nice of her. Mm-hmm. But it's 1 year later, and we heard that the Witch of the Wilds is back into the Kakari Wilds. So the Warden and the dog head back to Flemeth's hut to see if Morrigan is there. We walk in, and sure enough, there is someone inside. And the dog gets all uppity and is like, "Hey, someone's there." And then like an elf steps out from behind a bookshelf named Ariane. And she's like this warrior, and she's like, "Hey, what are you doing? And make your dog get away from me." And you're like, "Hey, stop being mean to my dog." And then she's like, "Oh, my bad." And then we become friends, which is cool. She says she was looking for a book. She says like this big long elf word. "I'm looking for unintelligible word." And you're like, "Cool."
It's my favorite band.
Turns out that unintelligible word is Flemeth, and she's looking for Flemeth because she wants to know if Flemeth knows where Morrigan is, because Morrigan went and hung out with her Dalish clan for a while, and they became like buddies. And then Morrigan was like, "Hey, later, friendos. I'm going to steal this important book from you, though, because I need it for something." But then it's like Ariane was like, "Hey, we need that book back, though. That's kind of important to us." So she joins us to find Morrigan because she wants to find a book, and we want to find Morrigan. So we have, things. There's a really cool line here for me because I was like bestest buds with Morrigan. She's like, "What do you know about the Witch of the Wilds?" And I was like, "Oh, she's like my best friend." And Ariane's like, "Oh, friend, I've never heard the Witch of the Wild described in that way before." And I'm like, "Yeah, because we're besties." Because we were.
That's awesome.
So now we have to start going on our little McMuffin quest. The next place to go to find our next McMuffin is the Circle Tower. We talked to a Templar who has a name that is very unimportant to remember. For some reason, I'm guessing the reasons were they didn't want to pay the bigger names that they paid for the voice actors. So there was a lesser known voice actor who is now, it's like, oh, the people that you know are unavailable because they cost us too much for this little DLC.
You'll get to hear from Steve from accounting.
So we got to hear from Steve the Templar from accounting. That is exactly what we got.
But he does do a great orc impression. He's not playing an orc, but he does a great orc impression.
So he's like, yeah, you're the hero of Ferelden. You can go wherever you want on the first floor, though. And I'm like, bud, like I cleared out your entire tower of like monsters, just not like a year ago. But first floor, cool, whatever. Because we need to find some books. Like, there are a lot of books. It's like a full-on fledged, like, library search project. So we go in. It's basically the Dewey Decimal System. We have to go and we have to, like, look at, like, we have to go to the card catalog, find the section we need to go to that section of the card catalog, look for the book that we're looking for within that section. And then this dude, Finn, comes over and is like, what are you doing with that dog in here? And we're like, oh, we're looking for a book. I'm kind of a big deal. You might know me as the hero of Ferelden. And he has the best line in the entire video game, actually. He goes, people save the country and think they can ruin priceless books all willy-nilly.
Fair.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
So he come in and info dumps on this Alluvian glass stuff, which is a super fancy mirror. You might remember this mirror as the one that was like corrupted from the Dalish origin story. So they went and they looked into it, and like the Darkspawn like traveled through it essentially. So he infoed up for this Alluvian glass stuff where the Tevinters looked into it, and even they were struggled to find out what it is, and the best they could do was communicate over long distances.
It's very Mass Effect 1. It is extremely Mass Effect 1 info dumping.
It is.
Like it's like because I watched a video on it, and like it's just like I remember this. This is the same. Like, ask you a question about lore. Let me give you the entire info dump about lore in this cutscene.
Yeah, it's like, here, ask. I have 10 different answers that I can give you in a branching path to info dump this bit of lore to you, which is what he does.
Exactly.
And then he's like, hey, we have to go and talk to a statue, though. And then this is another great one-liner in this one where Ariane's like, yeah, talking to a statue is kind of a sign of being crazy. He goes, not if it talks back.
I think that's the biggest sign, actually.
I think he says this. No, not if it actually talks back, I believe is what he says.
There we go.
Or if you don't expect it to talk back. That's what
right.
So we have to go down there, and our Templar from accounting is like, hey, you can't go down there. It is infested with magical armor, and we don't really need to go down there very often, so we're kind of like just waiting it out. And you're like, well, can I go down there and like clear out the magical armor infestation? He's like, I guess if you want to, but like, it's on you though, 'cause I'm not taking I'm middle management here. I'm not. I got a good thing going. I have a wife and kids to feed. Like, I can't be like, I'm not making a decision.
I can't work in the basement.
In the budget.
I'm sorry. It's not in my job description.
Yeah, this is above my pay grade. Is essentially what he said.
Yeah.
Which
it's not in the budget for the department. Brenda has a birthday next week, and we've already earmarked that money for her cake. So my hands are tied.
So we basically say we're going to do it for free, and he's like, fine, but if you get hurt, that's on you. And so we go down there, we clear out the bad guys, and sure enough, the statue does talk to us. It talks back. It dumps even more lore on us.
Yum, yum, yum.
And it turns out we need to go to the Deep Roads to pick up 4 Elven lanterns. And when I say 4 Elven lanterns, I mean 4 McMuffins. Because that's what this DLC is. It's a giant McMuffin quest. And so Finn's like, hey, I've had permission to leave the tower forever because this is my research on these things. So I can like basically leave whenever I want. I just haven't had a reason to yet, but now I have a reason. So I'm going to join the crew. It's like, all right, cool, bud. Come along. Let's go. Now we have a warrior. We have a mage. Okay, we're good to go.
We got a dog.
We have a dog, and the dog is awesome. I wish the dog had more skills because, boy, howdy, that dog is good. Like,
just the stun is good enough, right?
That's what it is, right? Like, you just have, like, it's so fast. Like, it just takes out, like, the magic users so quickly. It's so good for that. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely love it. So we get into the deep roads, find our four elven lanterns. We get more lore in the form of, like, the reason these elves were down in the deep roads in the first place was they were running away from Tevinter mages, and the mages caught up with them. It was interesting. A lot of darkspawn to fight, nice. Some interesting lore dumps. None of it really stuck with me too much, but the dog was funny in this whole part, and Finn was pretty good. Finn was a hoot. I enjoyed Finn quite a bit. So we get our McMuffins, and then we find, okay, we got our McMuffins, so now we have to go find the broken mirror because we can use the broken mirror to find a working mirror. And if we find the working mirror, then we're going to find Morrigan. So we head back to the Dalish, the Dalish origin story start point. We find the broken mirror, and then he does fancy McMuffin magic to find out that the mirror that we're looking for is in a different castle.
Does a toad show up and just be like, sorry, Mario?
So we have to go to the Dragonbone Wastes. And we go to the Dragonbone Wastes where we get to fight cultists and dragonlings and a drake. And all the fighting is pretty simple. Like, even the drake is not even very difficult. It was kind of a bummer. Like, it was so easy that you expected there to be another boss fight coming. And then there was just Morrigan there. It's like, oh, do I fight Morrigan? Because we're besties. So I don't think I'm going to fight Morrigan. Is she going to summon something? Is something going to attack us and we're going to team up? No. Nope. She's going to just chat with us. So this was the end of the DLC. That Drake was the final boss of the entire game. And you're like, disappointing.
It's not even a full-on dragon, right?
It's just not like even a full-on dragon. Like, why not? It's the Dragonbone Wastes, and they're like dragon cultists. Like, why not have it be a dragon in Dragon Age Origins?
It's like a praying mantis with like made out of rock, right? Is that what? Because yeah. It
was like a magical. It was. It should have been like a full-on dragon.
Yeah,
and it wasn't, which was disappointing. So we find Morgan, and this part though is super cool. Not the ending part, but like the conversation before the ending was really good because it does the Dragon Age Origins thing where all your decisions matter, and so depending on the decisions that you made at the end of Origins, Morgan treats you differently, which is, I think, really cool and one of the fun parts of all of these games. So there's 4 ways that the way that this conversation can go. So the first one is Morgan and the Warden say goodbye, and then Morgan walks through the Alluvian portal. Cool. Morgan and the Warden kiss if they were fully romanced, say goodbye, and then Morgan walks through the portal alone. The player can straight up stab Morgan, and she falls backwards through the Alluvian portal.
That'll turn out well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then the player and Morgan kiss, and then they both walk through the portal together. And if Warden, this is if the Warden undertook Morgan's ritual, it is implied that Morgan and the Warden the Warden goes to meet their son. So that's pretty fun, right?
Yeah.
I got the number 1 because we were besties, and it was very much like she was like, I'm not mad at you, but I wish you had trusted me. It didn't have to go this way. And I was like, it wasn't that I didn't trust you. It just like, I didn't trust the magic. So it's kind of a fun little bit. Like, even though like my reasoning for not doing it wasn't part of it. It was still written well enough that it fit. So like it was this very cool moment where it's like we were best friends, and it was like not like she wasn't like angry to see me, she wasn't mad, or it was kind of like I wish you trusted me, and it was like I do trust you, but and then she walks through the portal.
But I just really wanted to help that lady find her book. I just really did.
Oh, by the way, the book's laying on the ground over there.
Uh-huh. That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
It's it's cool to catch up.
Yeah.
And that's where it ends, though. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
it. There's no closure with your other characters. There's no other side quests with the other characters.
No. And like Morgan was the big one. I get that. But like, it was a very interesting decision, because I do not believe Morgan is in Dragon Age 2. Like, I'm going to go look it up real quick here.
I don't think she is.
So let me go. Dragon Age Wiki, Morgan.
While you're looking that up, the video I watched, it felt like in the very initial impression I got, especially when Morgan like walks through the portal, and like then like it literally ends. And I'm like, it's very much like the Poochie episode of The Simpsons, where like I'm going back to my home planet now. My people need me, and then she disappears, and then it's over.
Yeah. So here we go. Dragon Age Wiki, Morgan. Point 2, involvement. Here are the games that Morgan is involved in. Now remember, Morgan is the whole purpose behind the final DLC of Dragon Age Origins. Our whole purpose was to find her and to find these fancy mirrors that she is also looking for, that she can then walk through via fancy magic. Her involvement, she is in Dragon Age Origins. She's in Witch Hunt. She is in the alternate reality game, the Darkspawn Chronicles, which is a game I didn't finish because it was very hard and I didn't understand it very well. She is in the game Dragon Age The Lost Court. I don't remember what that is. It
must be like a mobile phone game.
There were some of those. There were also like some like text-based games and some games that were just in Japan and other stuff. It's a whole bunch of stuff they did. Huh. She is in Dragon Age Inquisition and Dragon Age The Veilguard.
She's mentioned in Dragon Age 2.
She is not in Dragon Age 2.
She's mentioned in Dragon Age 2.
Is she mentioned? She is mentioned in Dragon Age 2. Yes, there you go. She
doesn't show up in. Oh, okay, there it is. Okay, I had to scroll down. She appears in Veilguard too. Interesting.
She's very much one of like the big characters of the franchise. But yeah, like what a bold decision
missing from 2
to make Morgan. And at this point, they knew the story of Dragon Age 2, and they were like, you know what we need? We need to focus hard on Morgan, that character that's not going to be in our game at all whatsoever. It was a fun DLC. It was fine. What? Oh, yes, Matt.
She's Claudia. The voice of Morgan is Claudia Black, who is the. Do you ever see Farscape?
Yes. That is why her voice is so familiar. Oh.
Yeah, she's like the Marine lady from Farscape.
Yes. Okay, that's that makes okay. Thank you, Matt. That actually connects many dots.
Yes. Farscape, fantastic show. Go watch it.
And
it's so good.
It holds up super duper well. If you want like really good, fun sci-fi, you cannot go wrong with Farscape.
There's Muppets.
There are Muppets. Like and that's it, right? With Farscape, it's not a bunch of like CGI garbage. It's like just legitimately good. That's why it holds up so well. If it were CGI, it wouldn't hold up whatsoever. But because it was puppets, it is so good. Because it holds up so well. Yeah.
Go watch Farscape.
Definitely go watch Farscape. And there aren't many it was a episodic.
It's like 4 seasons and like a movie.
And like even the filler episodes are really, really good.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, naga sandwich time.
So
Taste my grilled cheese.
munch, munch, munch.
All right, so I got the first good. In case you guys didn't know that, I'm very looking forward to not having all the goods. No one wants to hear me talk for 90% of the episode. All right, first good. Morgan being the ending of DAO is pretty neat. And so, okay, mild spoilers for Dragon Age Inquisition. This storyline that from Witch Hunt carries over into Inquisition. So
okay,
this,
so if you stab her, she's in a bad mood. Is that what happens?
I've never stabbed her, so I don't know. Probably.
Oh.
But yeah, so this storyline does
I'd be a little grumpy.
get wrapped up or at least addressed in Inquisition. So if you are concerned about that, even though she's not in 2, she is in Inquisition, and she's a major player in Inquisition. So, and like these things that we were introduced in Witch Hunt are a big part of Inquisition. Again, that's why I said, like, the interesting part about Awakening and Witch Hunt here is so much of it ties to Inquisition, but not to 2. It's really, really weird. Like, it's like Origins connects to Inquisition more than... Now, 2 plays... The characters in 2 play a big part in Inquisition as well. So, both Origins and Dragon Age 2 connect to Inquisition, but they don't connect to each other, really. It's really a fascinating decision.
It's like this. It's like we've seen this before, like with Mass Effect, where Mass Effect 1, Mass Effect 2 has completely new characters and kind of different storyline, and then Mass Effect 3 they kind of connect both together.
Yeah, but the way they do it in this one is the characters from 2 carry over to Inquisition, whereas the characters from Origins don't carry over to Inquisition, but more of the storylines from Origins carry over to Inquisition than the storylines from 2 carry over. Now, that's not 100% cert, though, but it's more like 2 parallel stories that both kind of connect up with Inquisition. It's kind of more what it is. So, like, Origins and 2 don't really necessarily have a ton to go with each other, if I remember right. Could, like, maybe in a month I'll take this back, but if I remember correctly, I've only played 2 once, though. 2 and Origins don't really have a ton to do together. So it's like 2 parallel stories that happen at the same time, actually, and then they reconnect at Inquisition. It's fun. So yeah, so Morgan being the ending of DAO is neat. I've got the not so good. Don't know why in the world we would ever even help that Dace clan. Like, yeah, so 20 dwarves made a bad decision and went into the Deep Roads. That's like a random Tuesday in Orzammar. Right? So why am I getting involved?
Well, especially especially if you're if my character who is like non-casted dwarf, right?
Yep.
And this family's like, I need your help. I'm like, you can kick rocks. There's plenty of them down there. You can kick.
Yeah, I could see mine, I guess, because she was
you have some sort of connection
with nobility, and maybe like they have a connection somewhere along the line. So
and the whole reason they just have us helping is that they just are cheap and don't want to share stuff. So like, is that really something that any of our wardens would have been like, yeah, sure, let's do it?
And that's the weirdest part is like, hey, don't bring along any of your super powerful friends either, because I would hate to lose out on a little bit of gold. It's like, that feels bad.
But I don't. My friends don't want your gold.
We have a lot of it ourselves.
We're looking for adventure. We are looking for adventure, not gold.
Yeah. So that one, the premise behind us going back into the Deep Roads there, I thought was really paper thin.
Because reasons. Somehow Palpatine returned.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Very big somehow Palpatine return vibes, for sure.
That's such a trope now. It's so good.
Well, they paid him so much money to write that movie. And somehow
he came up with
Palpatine returned.
Palpatine returned.
It's shameful. It's shameful.
And you could have totally had the same general plot, but like woven in, oh look, Snoke was what Snoke was because of this, and like, oh look, there's actually a story to be told rather than just like, somehow in the opening crawl, whatever.
Ego.
Let's
100%.
do that instead of like find stuff with the like.
See, the thing is, in modern... Okay, we're going completely off track here. In modern Star Wars storytelling, they are trying to make it work. It's just not. Because it's dumb.
It doesn't help that they wanted to make a new modern trilogy and didn't even have an outline of the story they wanted written.
No.
And then they hired two of the most egotistical men in movies right now to write the movies. And the two of them were more obsessed with trying to undo what the other person did than to tell a good story. That was the problem with the modern trilogy.
I mean, I'm just looking forward to somehow J.J. Abrams returns.
God, I hope not. Is he the Palpatine of the modern Star Wars? What?
Anyway, Dragon Age Origins DLC, right? That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, I have the best good as well. I think this is the best good for all three of us. So, Sheep, I'm going to let you take the best good. What is the best good?
The best good is that it's time for Dragon Age 2!
Have you played it before?
Bow, 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 bow.
I have not played 2 yet. This will be my first time playing 2 and Inquisition and Veil Guard.
The
I
Veil
think
Guard.
It was. I
Yep,
keep
the
on.
Veil Guard.
I just keep on hearing Veil, and then I just like the rest of it's veiled.
Just
But yeah,
Vanguard.
Yeah, I have played 2 through once. I have played Inquisition through many times.
I've heard it's great.
I love Inquisition. Inquisition has a rough start, but if you get through that rough start, and Inquisition is one of those games where you could just sink 6 months, and I've done that before. Just sink 6 months into your life into just doing every little thing. There's so much content in that game. It is ridiculous.
I am both excited and terrified.
But yeah, so we are heading to Dragon Age 2. All right, let's get to our 3 questions.
He asks each traveler 5 questions. 3 questions. 3 questions.
3, that's a magic number. I will ask myself 3 questions.
Dan,
Yeah,
question for you.
sure.
What are you liking so far?
So this one, okay. I wrote down I think I figured it out though. I like how they connect Origins to Inquisition. I like how that story is continued to be told. And I like how 2 does it as well. I think so. I would say what I like is the continuity of the game. And even though it is not necessarily told in the continuity is necessarily kind of carried over into the direct sequel. It is carried through in the franchise. And so I like that. I like that Morgan story and the story of kind of all this stuff continues to be told. So that's what I like so far. Yes, that's what I like so far.
Nice.
But
Dan, go ahead.
Dan,
Go ahead. Yeah.
what are you struggling with?
The Golems of Amgarok was stupid hard. Like, if you wanted that, good for you. I turned it to easy mode. I was not having it. I didn't even...
Is it...
Yeah. Go ahead.
Is it like Water Temple with combat car hard, or is it like just like tediously, why am I going back here again hard?
It's everything. The backtracking is difficult. Like that's more tedious than difficult, I would say.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like keeping track of where you've been is a little tedious and difficult. But then the combat was also really hard because you really had to use your golem really well, especially if you weren't like a heavy DPS warden, which I was not. I was a sword and shield warden, so like I wasn't like bringing the boom. So And like the rest of the characters really weren't high DPS either, so it really was kind of like slow going a little bit. So yeah, the combat was also super difficult. Like I said, there was a room that I tried once, and like I tried the golem room where you like got one of like the weapons that you can take into like the next DLC, into like the main game. I tried it 3 times and never even was able to clear one of the enemies in the room, and I was like, nope, not doing it. Pretty sure I can just skip this altogether, and I did, and I went to the boss.
Just for that item.
Yeah.
Dan, what surprised you about these DLCs?
I like that it's a little bit of story, which is fun, but that also you get like that sweet gear for your next playthrough, which I think is pretty fun. I like that because it's not like the gear it's very Mass Effect-y in Mass Effect 1, whereas like once you have your good loadout, you're not really changing a lot. So you get to have all this, like the DLC all give you like really good kind of close to best in slot gear. And so you get to like put that right into your next playthrough, especially if you're ramping up to hard or nightmare. That's a pretty fun way to do that, is to kind of encourage playthrough and higher difficulties by giving better and better gear. I think it's pretty cool. You're rewarding the purchase. I like that. So
Yeah.
Nice.
You want to buy some death sticks?
You don't want to sell me death sticks.
I don't want to sell you death sticks.
You want to go home and rethink your life.
I want to go home and rethink my life.
So, Electric Sheep City, sell this game to a friend.
Books!
Have a look. It's in a book.
Oh, it's Reading Rainbow.
That made my heart so happy, Matt.
Oh, gosh. Such a good show. Oh,
It is
man.
How about you, Dano?
I just want to talk about how much I loved watching Reading Rainbow in my classroom
Oh, yes.
as a child. Like,
Yes.
when like Reading Rainbow came on and that song, like the lights would go off and the TV be wheeled into the room and like Reading Rainbow was put on, like tell me that wasn't just like the best day. Like you knew it was a good day.
It was like that, and like, oh, we didn't get Bill Nye because like Bill Nye was actually live on TV when we got home, right at our age. Yeah, so
I would say sad, but it,
yeah,
sounds like getting to watch it live is kind of worth.
I mean, kind of live, right? Yeah, but like anyway, you didn't know.
Yeah,
That.
right.
Anyway.
So for me to sell this game to a friend, after this, you get to play Dragon Age 2.
But don't take our word for it.
There's a show title, Matt.
That is a pretty good one.
So, Matt, you've played some Dragon Age 2 at this point, right?
Yes.
So I want you to explain to our dearest listeners
Yeah.
what combat is like in Dragon Age 2.
A lot better.
Lot
better. Like immediately they throw you in, immediately they throw you into basically a combat tutorial like right away. And it is so much fun. They just like use this skill. Now use this skill. Now use this skill. And then it's just like everything just flows beautifully. It's a real kinetic. It's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it tremendously. So much more than Dragon Age Origins combat, which is like diet MMO combat, which is Dragon Age Origins.
What's really fun about it, I think, though, is that it is still Dragon Origins combat. It's
because you can select your party members and decide to have them pop off and do their things, but they also do their own program things, which you can program,
They also still have the tactics in it. Yes.
Yeah.
So you still have the tactics that you had in Dragon Age Origins that carries over into Dragon Age 2, but you get a much more fluid combat. It looks so much nicer. It's very much Mass Effect 1 to Mass Effect 2.
Yeah. I'm playing a female hawk, and I'm playing a female hawk, but I love all the characters so far.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
It is a ton of fun. It's a ton of fun. All right. next week we are heading into the Brecilian forest.
For real this time.
For real. we're fleeing the Kakari Wilds actually next week. We're fleeing the Kakari Wilds and then heading to, what is the name of this? The Free Marches, right? Is that where we're going? Is that where
Yeah,
we're
something like that. Some place where I forget the name of it. But there's slavery involved. I know that.
Yes, very cool intro to the game. Yeah, I would definitely encourage any of you to play it. If you are listening and you didn't play through Origins, but you want to play through 2, go right ahead. You really don't have to play Origins to jump into 2. You're not missing
anything.
It's it's the game is going to be the same. The feels there's not. You can play 2 without having played Origins very easily, and the story flows very, very well without playing through Origins. So if you are thinking about picking it up, it is a much more fluid gameplay. You don't have to worry about the game crashing randomly. There is EA game launcher nonsense that happens for whatever reason.
You can I ignore it. I completely ignored it, and it's fine.
So
it just pops up underneath my thing.
Yeah,
it just goes away.
That's what's always worked for me in the past. This time, I have to change my my video settings every time I log in.
Oh no.
Yeah, I just have to go to full screen mode, so it's 5 seconds out of my day. Not the end of the world, but I would like to not have to do that. But other than that, it runs great. It runs really, really well in modern systems, unlike Dragon Age Origins. So definitely encourage you.
It's also $7.50.
It's $7.50 and a pretty ding dang fun game, I think. Didn't get the best reviews at the time, but I loved playing through it last time. I'm looking forward to playing through it again. So if you think that my opinion's worth anything, then I encourage you to play it. So that is going to be it for this week. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks to all our patrons for patronizing us. A special thank you to our producer and best friend forever, Ridiculous Hat. Thank you so much, friend. You can find links to our Discord page and contact information in the pinned comment on our Patreon page over at patreon.com/squelch.
And Dragon Age is a game, and games are supposed to be fun.
Yeah. Drink that Darkspawn blood, baby.
This is the end of the show! Everybody bye!
There's actually no Darkspawn blood drinking in Dragon Age 2.
Wow.
Oh.
So we're gonna have.
We're still talking about Origins, so it's
True. No, it's definitely still applicable here.
It's the last time you get to drink the blood.
I mean, Awakening, there was all the Darkspawn blood drinking.
Yeah.
But
I mean, Ogren got to drink some too.
He loved it. He loved it. Asked for more.
Yeah. He wanted more. Yeah.
But yeah, in 2, no, not really much. The Wardens don't have a major story part of the story, which I think is what a lot of people were disappointed with in the first time. I wonder if there are Dragon Age 2 reviews written at the time.
That makes especially sense too, because they were oh yeah, Dragon Age Origins, and then this one, the only one with a number in the title. It's we're the Warden, we're gonna keep on going, and
I mean,
it's not a direct sequel. It's the parallel path thing that y'all were talking about.
I mean, that's when we named the second Xbox to come out the Xbox 360. So everything was confused at that point in time.
It's okay. The third one was the Xbox One.
Yeah.
If I remember right, it's very much like the Xbox One. It's so stupid. I think it was critically, people liked it critically, but fans kind of have had a not great idea with it. So yeah, PC Gamer gave it a 94. IGN gave it an 8.5. So here we go. Metacritic. What did Metacritic say?
Well, Metacritic does everything.
Yeah. Ever. So generally favorable based on 75 critic reviews. User score generally unfavorable of 4.9.
Really?
4.9 isn't terribly low though.
Yeah, so it's easy to find things about this game that there's a few things about this game that you can very easily criticize, because you are just in the one city. And so you kind of go back to the same locations on a regular basis. And that is something you could definitely criticize about that game. Like, they could have done better about
That's going to help me
locations.
so much. I'm terrible with directions. If I'm in the same city the whole time, maybe I'll know like at least 2 or 3 places.
Yeah.
That'll be great.
Yeah, everything takes place in Kirkwall, and like you even go back to like, the same places outside of Kirkwall. You're like, oh, I'm back on like the cliffside cliffside location again, and I know where everything is in this cliffside location. So,
I think it's been a couple weeks since I've played it, but I think also the greatest improvement in the game is the tab key actually just toggles.
It just starts
on. That's
on.
glorious.
Yeah, it's magic.
It just starts on. It starts on. Yeah.
Yep.
Like the tab is just always on, and it's amazing.
Yeah,
it is so good.
Everything is always highlighted. You're like, oh, if you want to unhighlight, you can, but everything starts highlighted. It's magical.
Yeah. As opposed to where you had to hit the tab key every 30 seconds or just hold it down. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Should we head over to After Dork so Sheep can say his piece?
Sure.
All right. Cool.
Sounds like fun.
That's it for this week. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and we'll talk at you again next week.
Goodbye.
See ya.